Hi, I'm Brian Talley. I'm a realtor here in Austin, Texas, and today I'm going to talk about what I've learned after selling almost 200 homes. I'm coming up on the 200th sale, and I just wanted to look back and speak to buyers, sellers, consumers, and other realtors to let you know what I've learned. So, to the buyers and the sellers out there, don't make unsubstantiated assumptions about the value of your home. In other words, a lot of people have an assumption or an opinion of what their home is worth. Um, that depends on the market and supply and demand. And supply and demand may not be the same today as it was yesterday, as it will be tomorrow. And so don't make any assumptions. You never know what to expect when you put a house on the market until you do it. That's the one thing I've learned. I've put houses on we thought would sell right away. They haven't, and then vice versa. Put them on there, thought they would take forever, and they sold right away. So you never know, and we've been quite surprised. In some cases, we've gotten a lot more than expected, and in some cases, a lot less. So just don't make any assumptions. The future is hard to predict, obviously, and while we may be able to look at data and statistics, you just never know what the future holds. So the other thing is that buying a home and selling a home is a very stressful process. So just keep that in mind. You're going to be working with a lot of people. They're going to be carrying burdens of your stress as well. And so just have grace and mercy upon those that are involved in the process that may be a result of something that's out of their control. Also, you never know what surprises might surface during a deal. I've just got so many stories of things that I wasn't expecting to come up that have come up, and that's just how life is. And so just be prepared for the unexpected and hope for the best and hope everything goes smoothly. Be prepared for other things to come up. Also, everything's usually great until it's not. In other words, I've had deals where the day of closing or the day before closing, we find out buyer can't close. And maybe it's the buyer finding out, or maybe it's the seller finding out. But either way, you never know what's going on behind the scenes. In some cases, where in often times the buyer and the seller don't know. For example, the loan may not be approved, and that's what I've seen happen on a few occasions. So everything's great till it's not. Just remember that, and don't make any assumptions that everything is great. Just get through the closing date, get that check deposited in the bank if you're the seller, for example, or if you're the buyer, get those funds from the bank, get them transferred to the seller, and you're done when it's finally funded. And then this is it is an emotional battle if you're selling something and you're going to lose money. It's exhilarating if you sell something and you make money, but just give credit proportionately. In other words, whether it's your realtor or others involved in that transaction, they may have played a big role or a small role in your success or the failures that you may have as it relates to what you make or what you achieve at the sale. But just be honest with the extent of the involvement of those people and the control that they had over that great success or that failure. Because I've seen people get too much credit or take too much slack for something that's happened that they shouldn't have had carried such a burden or had such praise. And so that's generally it for buyers and sellers. And then shifting to realtors, I would just recommend that you focus on being a leader. People gravitate to leaders. People expect for you to make recommendations and be the expert. So be a leader. Find ways to develop yourself into a leader. Find ways to volunteer. Find ways to teach others, etc. Learn to manage crisis. Stay calm when things go wrong. There's only so much that you can control. Obviously, there's work that may need to be done in a very short amount of time in a crisis situation, but stay calm and focus on solutions in difficult situations and things that you can control. Don't make promises that you can't keep. That's really important. I see people in general that don't want to disappoint others, so that they say that they're going to do something and they don't, and they don't come through and fulfill that promise, and that makes it worse than it was ever in the first place. Don't offer information that's not verified. In other words, if somebody says, "Hey, what's happening on the lot next to this house that I'm going to buy?" and you find out, or you think that, it's one thing, you think that it's going to be a park and it ended up being a grocery store, that's going to really upset the purchaser, obviously, because of all the traffic. So just don't make promises that you can't keep. Don't say, hey, I'm going to go find out what is going to be on that lot if you're not going to actually take the time to do it, or if you don't even have the ability to do it, because you don't have access to that information. And then we talked about being the expert and making recommendations. That's really important. There are a lot of opportunities to make recommendations throughout the process of a home sale. So that's something to consider. Not all decisions are black and white, and many decisions actually require risk and judgment. And so, you need to just call it for what it is. If it's not a clear-cut black and white answer, you just need to give them all the information that you have and help try to make a wise decision. Give them wise counsel to try to make the best decision possible with the information that you have at hand. Somebody always takes the blame, and somebody always gets the credit. And realtors generally get too much of both, to be completely honest, in my experience. You'll end up taking blame that you don't deserve, and you'll end up getting praise that you probably get too much of in a circumstance where you were just doing your job. And so be prepared for that. Be prepared mentally to work through those scenarios, to be open and honest with your clients in both situations. Take up for yourself if you're getting taken advantage of, or if you're being told that you are to blame when in fact you're not, or take responsibility for what you are to blame, but don't also be a pushover, obviously, and take more of the blame than is due. And then not everybody seeks to understand, and some clients don't trust others, and they may not trust you. And they may not seek your counsel. I've had many clients I've worked with, and I'm wondering, why aren't they asking my opinion? I've done this, dozens and dozens of times. I've been through this process, and they're telling me how it is, and they're not asking for my wise counsel and my guidance. And I feel like that's something that they're losing out on, because that's why they hired me, is to be honest and trustworthy and give my experience and my suggestions based on my experience. And so, just expect that. That's okay. And you can try to communicate with people in a respectful way about the opportunity to tap into that knowledge and experience base as a resource for them. And, I've also learned that people are unpredictable, and some people have troubles, and many times, you may be aware of them, and sometimes you may not. And, so just know, again, you don't know what you don't know. So as you go into working with somebody to help buy or sell a property, surprises happen. And through that really intimate experience with other people, things will surface, emotions, and then ultimately, situations may surface in somebody's life that you were unaware of. But just expect that, and that's going to happen. And so you need to expect it. Develop a deep network. That's something that I think is extremely important. That's a big part of the value that a realtor adds, is the connections that they have, whether it's with vendors, whether it's attorneys, inspectors, people that do various trades for a house. Other realtors is extremely important, because they may be aware of a buyer or a listing, a private listing that would fit the needs of your buyer. And then just consumers in general, people in the market. Obviously, you need to have customers, so having a deep network of people in the community is really important. But you never know who you can help outside of the deal framework, where you can connect the dots on people that and help them in their lives. And that could lead to opportunity for you to work with them as well. So take care of yourself, and you can take care of others. Take care of your body. Get the rest that you need. Take education courses. Just take opportunities to learn. Take opportunities to lead. You need to be rested. You need to be healthy in order to have the ability to help others. So if you're always tired, if you never have time, if you're always put off or put out, and negative, those are qualities that are not going to bode well for you as a realtor. So you need to take care of yourself, get the rest you need, get the input that you need, again, from education or for others, whatever it may need to be. Sometimes just may need a weekend vacation, but take the time that you need to take care of yourself, and then you'll be able to take care of others who need you. Invest in yourself, pour money into yourself, education, equipment, the best computers, the best support tools, a nice office, whatever it is that you need to be successful. Invest in yourself. You know that you're valuable. You know your potential, and even if you don't, if you'll invest in yourself, you'll find that you're taking care of yourself, you're investing in yourself, and that can lead to success. And focus on your own success. Don't focus on other realtors' success. I see so many, and I do it myself sometimes, where I'm always looking at others and comparing myself to others, and oh, they're selling so much, or they're doing so many amazing things. Use that to motivate you and to do more and more things better in your life, but don't allow that to creep in and to demotivate you and to lead to any sort of depression or dejection or backing off and feeling like, man, since I can't do what they're doing, I can't do anything at all. Just focus on putting one foot in front of the other and controlling what you can control. But don't focus just on other success. Focus on you being the greatest success you can be individually. Just because someone says it's so doesn't mean that it's so. I've had so many people in my life tell me how it is, and many times they may be right, and I need to know when to listen to that and know how to take wise advice and apply that to my life. But many times, particularly in my business, I'll hear other industry professionals that have really strong opinions about things, and they could be, about how to handle a transaction. It could be about, opinions on how to handle a situation when showing a house or whatever it may be. But there are a lot of strong opinions out there, and absolutely, I've found that many of those opinions aren't accurate. And so it's really important to not just believe everything people tell you and not just take people's word for their word in every case. Clearly, you can find those people that their word is usually accurate, and when they say something, then it's something that you can heed. But there's so many others where we've got different voices from different angles that we need to not just assume that they're all accurate. And so you need to develop your own opinions. You need to develop your own knowledge base so that you can advise your clients, not based on just what other people are telling you, but based on what you know to be true. And so also I've learned you just have to fight for each sale. It's not easy to get sales. Every deal, and many of my friends, many of my customers have no idea how difficult it is to get business and how valuable it is every single deal that I work on. And I mean, there's literally in my market, there are over 10,000, actually closer to 12,000 realtors. And that's a lot of competition. I mean, there's hundreds in my area. And so it's really a competitive industry, and it can be very difficult because everybody has, one or two best friends that are realtors, and then they know 5 or 10 of them. And so how do you make it to the top of their list? And that, is in various ways, but the fact of the matter is you're not going to get every deal. You're going to have friends and even family sometimes that doesn't give you business. But when they do, just know how valuable that is. I want them to know how valuable it is to me. I want realtors to know how valuable it is to them. So don't take that for granted, obviously. And remember to celebrate your wins. That's really important. I'm the kind of guy that I can easily get a deal, get it done. I'm excited, but I'm moving on to the next deal, and I forget to really celebrate it. So make sure you celebrate it. Life is short, and we need to celebrate our wins. It's hard to get the business in the first place. So celebrate your wins. Know your contract. That's very important. It's really easy to, fill in the blank and in the forms, the contract forms, and then just move on and never look at it again, or not look back through the contract to see the updates of it over time. Definitely know your contract. That's how you can add value to your customers. Remember that time kills deals. I've learned that from day one of my mentorship when I got into commercial real estate years ago. And that's one of the first things that my mentor taught me. And it is certainly true. Things change over time. People's feelings change. People's circumstances change. So, just recognize when things get dragged out, the chances of something happening to interfere with that deal increases substantially. And that can even be a day increase, or it can be a month increase. But time has the ability to kill deals. So try to come to agreement in short order to get to the end goal quickly. Track critical dates, help protect the customer in that way. That's, again, a way that you can add value. And then always recommend to the client to have an attorney review paperwork and get advice from attorney for legal matters, which is really important. Anyhow, this has been a bit of a long video, but these are some of the things that I jotted down about what I've learned having sold now almost 200 homes. I hope that's been helpful. I wish you success in your home purchase or sale, or in your real estate career. And I bid you a good day. Thank you.